What's up, everybody? It's Shane Bacon, Patrick McDonald's Golf on CBS Preview Show. Patrick, before we get into the golf, I have a couple of Wimbledon questions for you, if you're okay with that.
Fire them away.
Question number one, do you remember when the Cardinals came out with the stadium in Arizona and they could roll the grass in and out? Remember I think they still can do that?
Not going to lie, when you said Cardinals, I thought we were going to go religious
St. Louis
route. But, okay, yeah, St. Louis Cardinals. I'm
talking Arizona Cardinals, not St. Louis.
Oh,
I thought that's where you were going.
I'm 0 for 3 or 2 right now.
So Arizona, when they came out with the original stadium, I think the grass would roll in and out. Like you could roll it out into the sun and then roll it back in during game day.
Okay.
Do you think Wimbledon ever gets to a point where they replace the grass as it continues to get more worn in similar spots now that nobody really goes to the net?
You know, one of my favorite parts of Wimbledon is watching the evolution of the grass.
Agreed.
From the first week to the end, it's like Mike Davis has his hands on it. They really get it rolling on the baseline. I do wonder if they'll replace it after like the first weekend moving forward or something, because it does get slick. It's like concrete back there.
Yeah, I like the point on the evolution of it. Do you remember every year when we get to Abu Dhabi or Dubai or somewhere and it's that image of what it used to look like and now what it looks like, you know, the skyline or whatever? That kind of reminds me of that. My other question is, obviously Wimbledon center court now is the roof. You know, we kind of dealt with that a day ago. Is a golf tournament ever going to have a roof, at least maybe even over 18 or something, where if there is weather, they could play the playoff?
Wow. I don't think so. Because you think about even some NFL stadiums that have roofs. I think is it the Chargers that have a roof, but they have open areas around the side.
It's really weird.
They had the lightning delay, I think, that one time on Monday Night Football.
Because it was like open air. Yeah.
Yeah. So outside of TGL, which has had its own roof problems, let's not forget about that. I don't think we'll ever get to that point.
Okay. I mean, those are my things. When I was younger, I was convinced that a golf course should have a moving sidewalk instead of golf carts.
Like an airport?
So, yeah, like instead of a golf cart, you know, golf carts cost a lot of money. I was convinced when I was young, it would make a lot of sense to have a moving sidewalk if you wanted to not have to walk with your bag. Obviously, I don't think that's a smart play. That would probably cost a lot in terms of maintenance. But I was thinking yesterday, could you see some championship golf course with a roof? But that kind of tells you where we are in the golf schedule right now when we're talking about Wimbledon off the bat, and obviously ideas of kind of like a grander, you know, clouded coverage of an 18th hole. John Deere just happened. Brian Campbell, your winner, second win of the year. You know, I mean, people pointed this out, Patrick. We're talking like the strangest season maybe ever in PGA Tour history. No finishes inside the top 30 outside of the 2 victories. It kind of feels like a poor man's Andy North major record, you know, like Andy North won 3 times in his career. 2 of them were U.S. Opens. Wins in a playoff. I mean, you know, hits a lot of fairways, but this is not what modern golf should look like in theory, yet Brian Campbell's doing it.
No, Rick Gehman had the stat. He has the second worst 2-win season since 2000. There it is, Josh. I mean, just on the ball as usual. And there are some incredible names on here with Todd Hamilton, of course, Ben Curtis too, and Steve Flesh as well. So I know people like to make fun of Campbell because he hits it 3 yards off the tee. But I honestly think this is pretty freaking cool, Shane.
I agree.
Just because, like, this day and age, it's all bomb and gouge. How to win has become pretty monotonous. You know what you got to do. And this guy's just doing it in a way that we haven't seen since Corey Pavin, for all I know, with the bullseye putter. And so I'm in on Brian Campbell. His season, like you mentioned, is freaking hilarious. 2 top 30 finishes, 2 wins. Outside of that, nothing really good at all. And Shane, on 2 golf courses where you would think distance would certainly serve as a separator, no less.
So he and producer Josh put this together. 161 ball speed, 172 out of 174 in that category. Only people that he's beating off the tee, Matt Kuchar and Paul Peterson, which I absolutely loved. there are guys on the Champs Tour that probably hit it 20 past him, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming Cabrera hits it 20 past him. I bet Podrick can hit it
Harrington,
20,
Stu
25
Cink.
past him. Stu Cink can beat it past him. I mean, it is like the Spud Webb, popping up in this era of the NBA. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Kevin Durant appearance he had with LeBron on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but he was talking about where NBA is going, like the evolution of the point guard. And he was talking about how he'd be surprised if we ever see a dominant 6'2" guard anymore, because just of the height, everybody's going so tall, and you're seeing Wemby. Wemby's not going to be the only one, and there are going to be 5 of those guys, then 10 of those guys in the NBA. Durant obviously is in that kind of class of player as well. It is so rare to see a player doing this, considering the obsession we have in terms of ball speed. I mean, we talk so much about it. It's on the screen every time you watch a golf tournament, and yet you see this dude that is bunting it out there. And also, I mean, I think one of the craziest parts of the win, Patrick, he went into this week at John Deere. He shot 79, 79, 78 in his 3 previous rounds before the John Deere and wins. I mean, you're talking not just out of the blue, but I mean, the game is completely lost, right? On golf courses that don't fit his game yet. It feels like when he gets to a golf course that fits his game, he leans onto hitting fairways and the iron play and the putting, and he puts himself in a position to potentially win.
Yeah, he lost 4 strokes off the tee on the week, which
Crazy.
is
for the winner, for the champion.
Absolutely unheard of. And it's not like his driving was like great for him. It was pretty wayward throughout the week. It certainly got him in trouble there. What was that, on 14 when he hit one into the hazard?
15, I believe. Yep.
15, made double bogey there. And so it's just cool, man. And I like how Josh put hashtag Short Kings. It is Short King summer.
Short King, man. Get
And,
them all.
and Brian
get 'em all into it.
Campbell. Brian Campbell's leading the way. Paul Peterson, I think, is a made-up name, so he actually might be second to last on that
Just
list.
Kuchar, yep.
With Just Kuchar, who also had a decent showing at the John Deere.
Yeah, he was doing the reverse arm lock, which I don't even understand
weird
how that works. It's so strange to see. Speaking of bad tee shots, the tee shot from David Lipsky on 18. I know that shot right now. Unfortunately, I'm fighting that golf shot. That is the moment you get nervous. It's the quick snipe hook. I mean, it was like eagle and then the worst swing of his week. And we've all been there. It's not necessarily the hardest driving hole in the world. Not the easiest driving hole around that golf course, but I thought he played it well. I like the pitch out. He had a good shot. He did like the step in make that he thought he made right in the middle, and it didn't break. But all in all, the John Deere tends to deliver. And I would say this is, when you look through the recent winners, I mean, this is probably the most obscure winner we've had, despite the fact that he's now won twice on tour in the same season.
Yeah, it's and it's funny how him and Potgieter were in that playoff together, and then they win back-to-back weeks also, which is quite funny. So Brian Campbell up 18 spots to number 28 in the U.S. Ryder Cup ranking.
Is he not in the open field?
Unfortunately, ahead of Patrick Reed. Is he? This probably gets him into the Open. No,
I don't think he's in as of now. But I'm hoping, obviously, now that he gets in. But I was kind of
get in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he will eventually get in, or he will get put in. But I was surprised when I was looking through the field. I'm like, this dude's won twice, and it's a little bit like some of the Live stuff, right? When you're going, I know Liv's in a battle with the PGA Tour, but we need some of these guys in the field. Like, they're obviously top 50, 100 players in the world.
Yeah, he's up to number 55 in the OWGR. So. Okay. Is it top 60? Because I know Michael Kim was kind of tweeting about it too.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So he's going to be in the field. Thank goodness. I mean, if he wasn't, that would have been. I don't think he's going to win the Open, but I mean, he made the cut in 2 of the 3 majors this year. I mean, in 2 of the ones that you would expect him to make the cut in, and he put together some solid rounds. And listen, man, ride the momentum wave. We had him last year on the Corn Ferry Tour. He was not one of my picks to go out there and do this. I mean, we had Potgieter much higher in terms of. But, prospective players to do well on the PGA Tour. But, we flashed that list up, the gaming list, and it does remind me a little bit of that Mark Wilson year. I think it was 2011, where he wins twice kind of out of nowhere. Wilson was older than Brian Campbell is at this point, but it does kind of remind me of that level of play where you can take advantage when you have an opportunity to win and you cannot win. And he has taken full advantage both times he's been close, and that's kind of it, and that's the season. And he's going to remember 2025 for the rest of his life because, I mean, if you were going to bet, is he going to win another PGA Tour event? You'd probably bet no. And that'll be fine. And winning twice matters, and winning twice in the same season is rarefied air.
Yeah, he could be kind of like a Jim Herman Jr. type, where Herman does nothing at all, and then one Sunday every 2 years, you're like, "This guy's on my screen right
Here he
now,"
goes again.
and he somehow wins. And so I think
Um,
that's my comp right now.
so Jim Herman, Andy North, and Mark Wilson are the Brian Campbell comps on this here show. Anything else from the Deer?
Anything else from the Deer? No. Great to see Max play well,
Yep.
obviously. But outside that, no, not really. I will say my curse of interviewing players, Shane, is has
Continuing.
continued.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan
Who'd you
Spieth,
have?
D, Ben Griffin miscut. So that's not great for our guest next week at the Open. But
You're not gonna get any more nods. Spieth said he's back though. Said he's feeling fine. Said he's gonna be healthy and ready to rock. We'll get into the Open here in a little bit, which is exciting. We obviously turn our attention now to Links golf season, one of my favorite times of the year. Get up in the morning early, play a little bit of golf, watch some golf, do whatever you want. Obviously, we start with the Scottish Open, the Renaissance. Do you ever say it the other way?
Sometimes just to get a reaction out of people, you know.
Hey, what do you think we should call the Open? Because it was British Open, the Open, or British Open, Open. Now it's the Open. Is that right? Is that the iteration we've gone through?
British Open, Open. There's Open Championship there for a bit.
Yep.
The Open. Do you just drop the? Shout out to Sean Parker, Chantilly, Virginia's finest. I think I'm cool with the Open, but honestly, Shane, I'm gonna say British Open just to piss some people off.
Well, honestly, it's not a knock. I mean, they call, if you look at journalists across the pond, they call it the US PGA Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no problem with that. It makes total sense. You guys have the BMW. It's a huge event, one of your biggest events, on the DP World schedule. I mean, I'm okay with you calling it the US PGA, and I'm okay with calling it the British Open. But obviously, that's in a couple of weeks. We got Scottish Open this week, which poses the question to you. Who needs a good links golf season? Because we've got a couple of weeks of big events, opportunity to make a move and do something great, potentially win. And it's not just now. I mean, I love the fact that this is an elevated event because it's not just winning, the British Open or the Open. There's an opportunity back to back to pick up a humongous win. We saw it last season, saw it the year before. And there are plenty of names. I mean, when you flash up that graphic of multiple winners on the PGA Tour this season, I would say most of those names were not who you think would have made that list. I mean, outside of Rory and Scotty, it's not Colin Morikawa. It's not Xander. It's not JT, right? I mean, it's these players that we're well off the radar, if on the radar at all. And so I'd say if you looked at the last 10 years of making the list we're about to make, this is probably the most marquee names possible to make a list needing a good golf links season.
Yeah, I agree too. Ben Griffin, Ryan Fox, Brian Campbell, just as we had predicted earlier in the year. Who couldn't have missed those? So yeah, you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, do it. Let's go.
I'll kick it off. My number 5 is Jordan Spieth, I think, because coming off that high of being on Kay Adams' show, of course, up in Adams, he comes into the Open next week, said he's going to be okay. I don't think he's had the kid yet. It didn't.
Well, he doesn't have the kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how that works.
That's the wife. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
It's okay.
No, I appreciate that.
No problem.
You're a father of two. That I learned.
You learn these things.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So Spieth's wife has not had the child quite yet, I believe. Unofficial, not reporting it. But he's going to play the Open next week. He has 7 straight top 25s, I think.
Golly, is that right?
Since that win in 2017, which of course is his last major. Now 8 years ago, Shane. He is number 25 in the Ryder Cup. He is just inside the top 50 in the FedEx Cup. And if you want to talk about a guy who got ridiculed the most for taking advantage of the sponsor exemptions in the signature events, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, those two probably the most. So if he can punch his ticket into those by himself, that's great. And I think if he makes the Tour Championship somehow, he has a really good chance to get picked for the Ryder Cup team also. And so I think it starts with the Open, and then he can start running downhill.
Also, my number 5. You and I are too closely linked on these lists most of the time. Jordan Spieth, also my 5th. A couple of Jordan Spieth things for you as I was diving into his Wikipedia. Do you know he's been in 9 playoffs on the PGA Tour?
Wow.
9 playoffs in his career on the PGA Tour.
What's his
5-4, 5-4 record. That was shocking to me. Most of the time when you see the little graphic of the playoffs, there's 2 or 3 for big name players. 9 is a lot of playoffs for one player. And the other thing that was surprising, maybe stood out to me, you mentioned the last, major win, 2017. He's been good at the Open. Second, 21, T8 in 2022, T23 in 23, T25 in 2024. He's one of those guys, much like at Augusta, you think Jordan Spieth should have multiple green jackets. Feels like a player that should have multiple links golf course wins. So number 5 on my list probably would be higher, without the injury, honestly. I think he'd probably be 2 or 3 on my list. I just don't know what we're going to see out of him at the Scottish. But he's my number 5. I'll roll into number 4. I got Bryson. I think Bryson needs a big links golf season. I mean, he hadn't played links golf well in his career. I mean, you look at the way he's played in the Open Championship, not great. Obviously not going to be at the Scottish. But I just think about Bryson as a player needing to have a good final major, considering the way he's played the major championships. And I think it's important for him to get himself in contention again and potentially win. I mean, this is such like prime season of Bryson DeChambeau. And to go through this year, to kind of go through the close calls the last couple of years. I know he won the U.S. Open, but he's been very close at a lot of majors. I think this Open is very important for Bryson. The only reason he's not higher on the list is he's only playing one of the 2 events.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. He's not on my list. Honestly, off my radar. I'm too enamored by him dancing on pool tables and whatnot. So
what was that? I missed that. What was that?
Oh, come on, Shane, look it up. All-time viral TikTok and whatnot from the great DeChambeau. My number 4 is Justin Rose. We've talked about him a lot and the fall off that he has experienced following that playoff loss at the Masters. He's down to number 9 in the Ryder Cup standings, which is that's like the purgatory. Really, like you're not close enough to the lock zone. You're kind of outside the top 12. What do I do? Well, if you're not playing great, you're probably not going to get picked. And so he's been bad at the Scottish Open, but very easy to forget. Justin Rose with, I think, like 10 or 11 holes was winning the Open Championship last year at Troon. And so I think a big Open from Rosie would go a long way for his Ryder Cup candidacy. And I mean, he's a guy, we've talked about it, who it just seems like he has more than one major by the time his career ends, hopefully.
Yeah, I would say probably has to have a good couple of weeks to make the Ryder Cup team, in my opinion, just with the way he's played. Early in the season was a lock for me to be on the team. And I would say, and I go back to the Sergio quote a lot, I would basically, Sergio saying I would turn down a spot if they asked me to be on the team. I feel like Jay Rose would be similar in that regard. I mean, it's been bad, like very bad golf the last 2 months, 3 months for Justin Rose. And so not on my list, but I think he's a good call. I mean, I think he's a little off the radar just for who he is and where he stands in the world. But I think this is likely the last opportunity to play on a Ryder Cup team, right, for Justin Rose. And that's got to be the big circle on the schedule. So a couple of weeks of good play. I mean, you look at the finishes here for Rose. I mean, basically since the Masters, and this doesn't even have the results. Like some of the scoring, I mean, you're talking about high numbers for Rose there. So not great from him. I like him being on the list. And again, I mean, is it crazy to say if he doesn't play well for a couple of weeks, he's not going to make the team?
I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't know how many captains they've picked. I think the U.S. just picked another assistant captain this morning.
Just pick one while we're doing this.
Yeah, I think they're up to 12. And so they're going to
have a captain per player. See, that's like a really advanced school when you send your kids. It's like one teacher per kid,
A captain per player. And Keegan's doing this thing where he's going to pick all the fringe guys. So they have to make the choice and not him. Like, do I be an assistant captain? Well, you are. That means Keegan.
All right, let's vote. There's 11 of you guys. We can do it.
But I could see Rose being a vice assistant captain, whatever it is, for Luke Donald.
Is it assistant? Is it vice for President's Cup and assistant for Ryder Cup? Do we know the answer?
I think it's switched. I think it's vice for Ryder Cup.
Vice for Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Just golf continues to just nail it. I mean, we never mess this stuff up at all. So we're on to number 3. Who do you got as your number 3 needs a good link season?
Another Englishman, Matt Fitzpatrick, playoff loser at the Renaissance Club many moons ago to one Minwoo Lee. Thomas Dietrich was in that playoff also. I believe that's when maybe the last year was DP World Tour only before it turned into a co-sanction. So I guess 2021 technically. But outside the top 70 in the FedEx Cup, he is somehow 30th in the European Ryder Cup standings.
Is that right?
Yeah, all the way down to 30. I just kept on
Wow.
scrolling and scroll. Like he's behind Rahm, he's behind a bunch of names people would not even recognize. But really, ever since the PGA, he's been playing a lot better golf. T8 there at the Rocket, which was his best finish of the year, I believe. And so, a guy who's played well at this golf course, he's played well in major championships this season. I think if Fitzy, kind of like Rosie, shows some stuff, I think he can lock himself up on that Ryder Cup team, despite whatever standing he is, and maybe contend in another major.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Have not seen him play well in the majors really since the win at that U.S. Open. I went live again here at number 3, and I think producer Josh he's been kind of on one today, pointed out something really smart. Seems like a big miss that Liv doesn't have a links event the week before the Open. I couldn't agree more with that. Maybe you can't have it in Scotland, but you could have it in England or somewhere. Even if you played like a links style golf course in the States, I mean, just something to see that level of golf would be interesting. But I got Rahm at number 3. Kind of goes back to one of my big points, right? John Rahm has kind of been on this drought in the majors. And I just look at the Open Championship as an opportunity for John Rahm. And again, it's going to be a forgotten year in the majors if he doesn't contend to potentially win, one of these. And the windows are small, man. I mean, these windows for these players are very, very small. And you're talking now, Rahm, what is that going to be? That'd be 4 years? Is that the break we'd basically be on?
Almost, because it was the first one in
22. So we'd be
23. So
23. Oh, so yeah. So we'd be talking 3 years upcoming since the last major win. I mean, that's a decent amount of time for one of the quote unquote best players in the world. Plus, it'd just be nice to see him get himself back in contention again at one of these things. And I just feel like Rahm's one of those players, like he should play well at an Open, right? I mean, he should play well across links golf. And so my fingers are crossed that we could see a little bit of Rahm magic once again, like we saw at the PGA.
Yeah, had a chance when Harman won. I think he cut it to like 3 or 4 early in that final round. And then Harman kind of pulled away. But yeah, seeing Rahm back in major championships is always a good thing. My number 2 is Ludwig Åberg.
Ooh, interesting. Not on my list, just because he's been playing so nasty.
So bad.
So
bad. Yeah, ever since the Masters, outside the top 10, not doing anything right. Missed the cut at the PGA, missed the cut at the U.S. Open. I believe he missed the cut at the Open last year also. So all that success at Augusta National has not translated to the other major championships. But you look at the Scottish Open last year, he was the 54-hole leader. People forget because of Big Shot Bob and the drop heard around the world there on the 16th on the par 5. Who could forget that? And, all this talk, Shane, all year has been how great the European Ryder Cup team is. But if Ludwig's not in form, he's kind of like a cornerstone now, I feel like. Like, that's a pretty big crack, I think. Yeah. And I'm starting to lean Team USA at the moment.
Going Americans.
I mean, we got
Brian. I think it's Brian Campbell. I knew that's where you're going.
Great course fit for Bethpage Black.
Yeah.
And
3 wood into every par 4. I love it.
Yeah. Gosh. And so, I mean, I saw your 7 wood video. He's going to take the exact same thing.
Dig down with that thing.
Yeah. Pop it up. And so I think a big Scottish or a big Open, doesn't necessarily need both, would go a long way for Ludwig. And I actually do like him this week.
Can we talk about Ludwig's? And listen, it's brief, but his major record, like his major performances outside of Augusta National, it is awful. If Josh can throw up the Wikipedia like block of his run at the majors, he's played well at Augusta. Outside of that, you're talking disgusting finishes in major championships.
Yeah, it's 4 missed cuts, the 7th at Augusta this year, the runner-up last year, and then the T12 at Pinehurst number 2 when he was the 36-hole leader.
Just misses every cut. I mean, every single cut at these majors.
Shocking.
Look at this. I mean, it's just so gross. It's either good or it's not going to be there for Saturday.
Yeah, he went 72, 76 at Oakmont, and then at the PGA, he went 70, 75. I think he was winning Oakmont at one point, too.
Listen, man, Oakmont could do that to you. Andrew Landry could attest. So can Shane Lowry. It happens to the best of them. My number 2 Xander.
Oh, okay.
Just like needs something.
Yeah.
Comes off his breakout season last year. He's been a complete no-show this year, obviously dealing with the injury stuff, but Xander needs something positive, man. I mean, anything positive that could happen. Play decent in one of these events, maybe pick up a win. Obviously, if you pick up a third major, now you're in a completely different category of player. I mean, now you're right there with what that'd be with Spieth and Scotty ahead of all those at 2. You break out of that crew, but it's been a very disappointing 2025 for Xander Schauffele, and so I just feel like he needs something positive to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Roll into your number 1. You go first.
It's Morikawa.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's Morikawa. I mean, okay. Listen. Hold on. Let me just prepare.
Let me stop laughing first so you can go on your soapbox.
Colin Morikawa burst on the scene, and he's like this major winner, right? And he wins 2, I think, of his first 8 starts in majors, and he's winning golf tournaments, and he's so impressive, and the iron play's there, and he's the next big thing in golf. And we're now like nearly 2 years since his last victory. He's played solid golf this season, but he just does not win. He simply does not win golf tournaments. And I think that it is imperative for Colin Morikawa to win one of these next 2 tournaments. I think it is imperative for who he is as a player to figure out a way, new caddy on the bag once again, to figure out a victory either at the Renaissance or at the Open Championship. I mean, this is getting silly. And if he doesn't do it soon, now this is becoming one of the big stories in golf. I mean, we've seen these droughts. JT went on one, Spieth went on one as well. Obviously, Ricky's been on them. Big profile names have done it. But I always considered Colin Morikawa's game to be so elite with the irons that he would inevitably fall into victories, and he just is not right now.
Dang. Josh is going to cook up an IG reel of you talking about Morikawa. Going to do numbies. More numbies than Morikawa can do.
Am I wrong?
No, absolutely not. What do you think about this 2-week Billy Foster situation?
I like him on the bag. Like I think he's a good addition.
Yeah, it feels like he's not going to take his crap.
Yeah, he's been an elite caddy, man. I mean, he's caddy. I mean, dude, do you know he caddy for Tiger one time? I forgot that.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the President's Cup.
It was at the President's Cup. How did that ever happen? That's so random. I need to dig into that story of like what was going on. Was that like post Stevie or before Stevie or what? But that was random when I saw that image floating around on social. I think that was Jamie Kennedy that posted it. But I think he's a good fit for Morikawa. I think Morikawa needs a tough love caddy on the back.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody that tells him, stop being whiny, stop complaining, go hit the putt, let's hit it close. You know that story of who was caddying for Rory when he was talking about something and he goes, "You're Rory effing McIlroy."
Oh, who was his old caddy?
What was JP name? Or whatever his name was? And it was he's like, "You're Rory effing McIlroy." I need somebody to go to Colin and go, "You're Colin effing Morikawa, bro. Like, let's go out and play some golf."
Yeah, totally agree. I'm interested. I think it's only for 2 weeks because he's like semi-retired, Billy. That is. So who knows who he's going to put on the bag for the playoffs after that. So my number 1 is Xander for a lot of the reasons you said, and just being the world number 3, having an all-time major season in 2024, and then coming back in 25. I know he was injured, but he's 100% healthy. He talked about it today, how everything is just a little worse right now than it was last year. And we know this game, the margins are so fine. And so he hasn't hit one consequential golf shot in 2025.
Not one that matters. Not a single golf shot. That is crazy to think.
Yeah. So he's a winner at this golf course, which is good. And he's obviously the defending champ at the Open, which is good. So maybe the change of scenery, change in time zones can kind of piece it all together for him. Just a little switch. But yeah, Xander's my number 1.
Yeah. I mean, he's worthy of a spot up there. He needs to have something happen positively. Obviously getting ready for the Ryder Cup as well. I think you kind of forget that. You talk about no consequential golf shot in 2025. If that continues and he gets to the Ryder Cup and all of a sudden you're under like the most amount of pressure you can be under. I mean, I know Xander can handle it. I think he's maybe the player that can handle that the most outside of maybe a Scotty, but it'd be nice if you could hit a golf shot here and there. All right. That leads us into a little Open Championship power rankings. You want to do anything change on your list? I think I've moved some names around. I never remember who I had the week before anyway.
I actually was thinking the exact same thing. I changed a bunch around, honestly.
Okay.
lot happened in this last week with
where's Brian Campbell at on your list? Like
on
3
and
or
off the
4?
golf course. Brian Campbell is number 7, unfortunately. So
just off.
We just confirmed that he was in the Open earlier in this episode. I'm honestly still not sure if he is in the Open, Shane.
I know it's 50-50 at this point.
We're going with it. My number 5 though is Victor Hovland. Of course.
Interesting.
Yeah, coming off the WD at the Travelers Championship. He then went to Norway, did some clinics, hanging out with friends and family. Love that. Then he went to Spain. He was in beach clubs. He was popping off. There's one
literally popping off.
There is one unbelievable photo of him, which if you haven't seen it, you just have to look up his name on social media. It is awesome. The guy does not know how to apply sunscreen too. He's burnt and just has like fingerprints, like, dude, get my back. Yeah, I got you, bro. just not at all. And the Hovland Stan accounts are firing on all cylinders right now. They know it's Lynx golf season, so he's my number 5 coming off that 3rd place at Oakmont.
By the way, is he using a Palmer Cup carry bag this week? I saw Ping posting some stuff about it, it's like an old carry bag of his or something. Yeah,
you're the Ping guy.
I know. I didn't. It was different. I don't know if it was an old photo, but I love when pros go to carry bags. One of my favorite sneaky pro golf things in the world is when the pros go to the carry bag. I was caddying years ago. I caddied for a couple friends of mine on the LPGA Tour, and we had an event in Northern California, and my friend Irene, who I was caddying for, said, hey, just so you know, this is the hardest golf course all year to caddy on, most elevation changes, stuff like that. And if you want me to get you a carry bag, I'll get you one for the week. And I literally got out of the car on like Tuesday when we got there, and there's a caddy on the LPGA Tour named Missy. She's probably 5'3", 5'4", and she's awesome, like a badass caddy, right? And I see her walking off the course carrying like the staff bag. I'm like, Irene, I gotta do the staff. I mean, I can't do the carry. I mean, Missy, for God's sakes, is doing that. If Missy's way tougher than I am, but I'm like, if Missy can do that, I feel like I'm adequate enough to do it. And let me tell you, I wish I'd have gone carry because it was not an easy carry. That was an event where the golf cart one day we were on like a practice round day. Caddies were standing on the back of the golf cart, and it was so steep of a hill, the cart started to come back off the front wheels.
Oh my God!
Off. So maybe not the smartest move of ours.
So it looks like it's a Arnold Palmer Cup bag.
Okay,
from 2017. How about speaking of caddies, at the Rocket Classic, we didn't touch on this. Hideki Matsuyama had a woman on his golf bag, and people just assumed it was his wife.
And it wasn't?
No, it was like his business partner from Japan.
This is why you never assume anything, guys. Never assume anything.
But apparently she had like the same name as his wife or something.
Okay. Yeah,
something like only Hideki would.
That's tough. That
happen
that's tough. All right, my number 5 Open Championship Power Rankings, Morikawa. I'm going to continue to lean into him. He's my number 5. All the reasons I've stated. Played great golf this year, and obviously he's played well at Opens in the past. Again, just feel like he needs it. And I'll go from my number 5 to my number 4, who I think I'm going to pick. I know we're a week away. Bobby Mack, number 4 on my Open Power Rankings. I think Bobby Mack's going to win the Open.
Dang. I knew I was forgetting someone. Okay, we're going to have to readjust here on the fly.
Wow.
My number 4 is Tommy Fleetwood. Had the chance there at Portrush. I was rewatching a little bit of that final round the other day. Entered the final round 4 behind Lowry. Lowry's first hole might be the most nervous first hole of a final round I've ever seen in my life.
Did he hit it left or right?
He hit it left like 170 yards. Then he hit
not out of bounds.
Not out of bounds.
Yeah.
Then in a pot bunker 55 yards short of the green, and then made like a 10-footer for bogey, 2-putted for and then Fleetwood down the middle of the fairway, like 220 in, hits a 5-iron to 5 feet and just a horrible putt that never had a chance. It's like, dude, if you freaking made that, like this could have been a 3-shot swing for all we know. I'm going Fleetwood 4. I think that's probably where he finishes the Open. So I'm going to put him there.
I got him at 3 for me. I got Fleetwood 3 for me. Listen, if he's not going to win the Travelers, maybe he wins the Open. I mean, he's going to be there. Look at the way he's played this season. The ball striking's incredible. You're just kind of waiting for maybe he falls into one or something. I mean, we've said that about Rory for a long time, and he obviously didn't fall into the Masters. He won that Masters, but he needed a little bit of help there, and maybe Fleetwood will need a little bit of help like you're talking about with Lowry in 19. But I think Fleetwood has to be in your top 5 in terms of Open players, the way he's played this season, the way he's played the Open.
Yes, I agree. And then number 3 for me, it was Rahm, but I totally forgot that his top 10 streak is no longer intact. I mean,
my gosh.
Junichiro Kazuma has more top 10s in a row than him on Live Golf. So how can you look at Jon Rahm at this point? So he is out of the top 5 as of this moment.
Should he retire?
And Bobby Mack is in his place at number 3 for I mean, he might go back-to-back this week for all we know.
Yeah.
I mean, last year's Open, he was dealing with the hangover and all that. Played great at Portrush too. So I'll go Bobby Mack 3. Tyrrell Hatton 2. I think he's going to win. I really think he's going to win. And that's why he's at 2.
I was digging into his finishes at the majors, and it's like good for 3 days, and it's good for 3.5 days. I mean, you even saw it late at Oakmont, right? It's just like the moment he gets a little bit of a taste, it just feels like he immediately gives one or two back, which is, something that a lot of pro golfers deal with. I got Scotty 2.
Okay.
He's Scotty Scheffler. He's not won because of his record at the Open. I think that'll change soon, if not this week. If not next week. So Scotty's 2 on my list. And I got Rahm 1. Again, I think Rahm is going to massively contend, even if the streak is over on Live. I still have Rahm very, very high in terms of a potential Open champion. And I mean, that would add intrigue to the majors next year as well. Not like we don't need it, but now you roll into 26 with another Grand Slam opportunity. So I got Rahm number 1 on my list.
Yeah, we need more people in the Grand Slam conversation. I know
so we got Spieth, we got Phil, which isn't really. I mean, Phil's probably not going to play another U.S. Open.
Yeah, and it's like Spieth. It's kind of one of those things where like everyone knows Spieth doesn't really have a chance to win the PGA type of thing, so it doesn't really count. Like Phil doesn't.
It's fun. It's fun to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to talk about it. And so with Rory, obviously completing the career Grand Slam, we need fresh blood. A little energy in the room. So Rahm would be great. Scotty too would be thrown in that conversation also. And I think that's it, right? Who else has 2 right now?
Say it again. Who'd you say?
Scotty and Rahm, if they win.
Scotty, Rahm. Yeah, I mean, Brooks.
Okay, yeah, Brooks.
Brooks would be there. Xander's not changing anything because he obviously has an Open.
Collins not.
Collins not changing. JT's not. Yeah.
So, okay. Scotty or Rahm? Let's lock it in. Scotty's my number 1, by the way.
Okay. Scotty Scheffler. Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, Scott Scheffler. If he wins, he's going to go by Scott for 2026.
Would be nice for the kind of rhetoric around Scotty Scheffler to have a multi-major win season. That's like something he hasn't done yet in his career. Obviously ticks off the first major that's not a Masters this year, and to pick up 2 in the same season. Just, it's like these are little things you think about when you look back historically on these players. And I think it's a huge accomplishment. You have to play the best golf at 2 of the 4 biggest tournaments in the world. And it's obviously very different now with that being kind of the only opportunity with the Live players there. So, for Scotty, and again, I think it's a big, proving ground situation in terms of links golf. Like, you should be great at this stuff, man. You drive it great. Your irons are great. You're an incredible pitcher of the golf ball. Putting is probably the least important part of Open weeks. Like, you should be dominating this style of golf, and you're simply not. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I think his creativity around the green is something he doesn't get enough credit for. And we've discussed just how many tap-in pars he gives himself when he's off the green. And so I think that could be a real separator at Portrush.
Well, you've heard from the 2 of us, I think, for long enough. That's probably enough time listening to just us 2 talk. Let's get to the smartest man in the room, and we'll check in with Jay Ray. It is time now for exactly 5 minutes with Justin Ray, 21st Group, best follow on Twitter, smartest man in golf. Jay Ray, we are at the Renaissance Club this week for the Scottish Open. Patrick lifts the finger every time we do it. What are we in 3 years at the Renaissance? Is that the deal?
3 years since it's been a PGA Tour event. They were there a little bit before, but I just want to highlight how incredibly different the golf course can play depended on the conditions. The first year that it was a PGA Tour co-sanctioned event in 2022, the field was a combined 800 over par, right on the number, plus 800. The last 2 years since, there's 719 under par. So it's just the perfect statistical embodiment of how weather impacts golf in that part of the world, where it absolutely blew like crazy that first year, played unbelievably difficult, and then when it's docile, you can go out there and make a ton of birdies. The closing hole is probably the greatest single embodiment of the example of the difference between the two. 2022 on the 18th hole at the Renaissance Club, 6 birdies all week, 40 double bogeys or worse, okay? 6 birdies, 40 doubles or worse. 2023, 29 birdies, 20 doubles or worse. Last year, only 6 double bogeys, 42 birdies, played, it was the third toughest hole in the golf course, but it was nothing really to write home about. So one note I do want to say about this golf course last year, mid-range putting, torturous here. The field had the lowest rate of putts made from 4 to 8 feet of any venue on the PGA Tour all season. So something to keep an eye on this week.
Wow. That is a good little nugget. Okay. Guy who could probably use a couple of those. Scotty Scheffler back in the field, making his return. I don't think he played in this tournament last year. Took the week off. But still world number 1. Is that correct, Jay Ray?
Still world number 1. And he's closing in on 150 weeks in his career, which would be only the third guy to get to 150. Tiger, of course, and then Greg Norman. But I wanted to put into perspective just how far, like anything, it's a stat about one guy, and then it becomes reflective of another guy whose name I've just mentioned a minute ago. If Scotty was world number 1 from right now until August 1st, 2035, he would still need 10 more weeks at the top spot to tie Tiger Woods for the all-time lead. So see everybody in 2035. Shane and I will be in our 50s. Maybe we'll be. I think it's October 22nd, 2035 to pass Tiger. So Godspeed. Fully acknowledge it's not the same evaluator that it once was in the kind of split tour era, but just the ungodly amount of time that Tiger Woods spent at the top of that metric.
Those things just don't seem real, when you say them like that. It's like you get into the cut streak stuff as well, and it's just like, man, this guy's made 40 cuts in a row. He's got to do it for another 4 years to tie the Tiger number. It's just so
the quadruple what he's already done.
It's
already done.
So wild. All right, from one world number 1 to another, Nelly Korda. I think it'd probably be easy for people to look at the page and say, not been a great 2025. You're saying maybe she's been better this season?
So I want to just point this out. Through 10 starts last year, of course, she had the 5 wins in a row, 6 wins in all through her first 10 starts of the season last year. Through 10 starts this year, she has a better scoring average, better strokes gained total, better strokes gained ball striking, better strokes gained putting per round than at this point in 2024. It speaks to just how unbelievably difficult it is to win golf tournaments and how circumstantial it can be sometimes. You can put together great numbers and put together some great ball striking, be putting great, and just you don't happen to get across the finish line. See Erin Hills a few weeks ago when she played great but wasn't able to beat Maya Stark. So there's nothing wrong with Nelly Korda. She hasn't won yet this year, but her numbers, the underlying numbers, are all even better than where she was at this point a year ago.
It goes back, Patrick. You go back to Max Homa last week talking about results. I try not to measure myself on results. I think as a professional athlete, you inevitably think about result, right? I don't have any trophies this year. I had a whole bunch last year. But I wonder if Nelly's able to be, and I think she is, to be a mature enough professional athlete to look at some of the J. Ray numbers and think, I'm doing a lot of good things. I just, a couple of putts haven't gone when they did go a year ago or somebody else made a mistake.
Yeah. And we got the Evian coming up here shortly, right? Is that next week?
And Evian Championship is this week. So we got the fourth of the 5 majors this week.
My bad.
Gets underway with the first round, and then the AIG Women's Open a few weeks after that. So, yeah, major championship. We all know the circumstances behind it being a major, but that's what it is. It's defined as such. It doesn't play quite like some of the other major championships. Scoring is a little bit lower, but Nelly, not a lot of great course history there relative to what she's done in the other major championships, but going to be interesting to see. An incredible field, and it should be a good week there in France.
J. Ray, do people ever make this major's watered down about the Evian or no? Is that joke play or no?
I see what you did there. Your dad joke level, that's an 8.7 out of 10, Shane. That's very strong.
That's all we're looking for. That's all we're looking for. J. Ray, appreciate the time, my man. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Patrick, it's the time in the show where you have to Google the odds while I ask you who your picks are on the Scottish.
I was just looking them up.
Have you heard it? I actually wrote mine down. as I do every week, and I like that you do it on the fly. We should probably at the end of the year see like who's been more successful at this, right? Is it just completely picking at the time I ask you, or is it last night when I was doing this in bed?
No, I have names down, but I was more looking for guys who can't win, because that's really what I look forward to in this segment the most.
It's my favorite part of this segment, to be fair, is who's not going to win. Renaissance, kind of links golf adjacent. I mean, it's listen, I think it's a cool golf course. Like, I think the whole experience looks awesome. I do wish it was at a premier links course. Like, I wish it was at a Cruden Bay, or like they couldn't play North Berwick, it's too short, but something Carnoustie, something that's like very linksy. And I mean, you'll hear a lot of people talk about that this week, but again, I think the players like it. I think it does a great job hosting the event. So big names in the field, a whole bunch of the big players playing this week as they get set for obviously the Open next week. Who do you have that's going to win or that can win this week?
Well, I know you'd like to see maybe a different golf course. Could I interest you in a stadium hole, Shane? Because they've got one this week. I don't know if that plays, with the whole, these guys are so much more appreciative of good shots and love the game.
Is that like they built it up around it, like at Phoenix? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's number 6, maybe. I don't think. I feel like it has to be on the back 9. But 5 par 30s this week. I 100% did. Yeah. Guys who can win. Ludwig Oberg, going out on a limb. Show me something this week. Bobby Mack. I think he has a good chance to go back to back. He's been he's speaking of guys TikToking lately. Bobby Mack's in the game. And then Matt Fitzpatrick is my third guy who can win. Who do you have?
I got Fitzy as a can win. I got JT as a can win. I think it would be very Justin Thomas-like to win the week before the Open, and then shoot $1 million at the majors like he's done the last couple of years. And then I've got Mr. Fleetwood as a can win.
What is up with Justin Thomas's links record?
What's up with his major record? Like, it's just JT should play great at these things, man. Like, it fits everything he does well, and yet he just plays awful in links golf across the board.
I think last year I was like, I thought he was in this tournament last year, and he finished T62. He went 62-72 to Open.
Wait, he went say it again?
62-72.
Not good. Not good.
And then the following week he went 68-78.
I mean, unbelievable. I will say this. His major, and we've talked about this a lot, his major rounds are insane. Like the numbers he shoots. These aren't 74s. He's like 81s and 77s and stuff.
And then a 66. It's like, he's got it. He's got it figured out.
So I got JT, Fleetwood, Fitzy that can win. My can't win. I got Xander. I don't think he's going to win this week. I think he might play well, but I don't think he's going to win. I got Ludwig, your boy.
Damn.
I got Jay Rose, unfortunately. Just feels like not going to be a winner this week, considering the track record and the way he's been playing as of late. So that's my 3 cannot win players.
Jay Rose even on, I mean, way to really stick is he even on the odds board?
Yeah, he's down there somewhere.
Okay, that's fine. All right, can't win. I was going to say Rory, but I don't know the status of his move to London. I don't know if he's all packed up yet, so I need to do a little more research on that. He's not on the list. Can't win. I'm going to say Sam Burns.
Okay. By the way, is this fly by the seat of your pants right now? Or are you just pulling him off the board? Okay.
No, I saw that video of Sam Burns hitting it into the lip of the bunker from a couple years back. Didn't like that. I think he's still thinking about it. Fleetwood cannot win. And I agree that, did you say Colin can't win?
I said Xander.
Okay. Well, Colin can't win either. So I think a little, him and Billy Foster, they're going to be feeling each other out a little bit this week as people typically do on first dates. So I'm gonna say he can't win.
I'm gonna go Fitzy is my winner. I think I liked what you talked about earlier about Fitzpatrick needing a links, good links run. Been playing some solid golf. I'm going Fitzpatrick as our champion this week.
Wow. I think this is going to be the first ever Golf on CBS preview show consensus play of the year. Matt Fitzpatrick is your Scottish Open
Lock
winner.
him in. So what does he shoot? Like 78, 81 or what?
Yeah, early exit, get some good prep at Portrush. A few extra days on site. Can't wait.
Can't be great. Maybe we cancel each other out with the picks, right? Where it's like both of us had such bad karma at the pick, they cancel each other out, and he does have a good week.
I think the one time, this might be the second one, because we had Spieth at the very historic CJ Cup, Byron Nelson.
Yeah, how'd he do?
Top 5. He like shot like I think 52 on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, there you go. My sleeper, Thorbjorn Olesen, well down the list, well down the board, and I like Olesen. It'll be Olesen Fitzpatrick on Sunday, just what everybody wanted.
Wow, Thorbjorn, come on, I love it. I love the Danes this year for some reason. But my sleeper is going to be Mav McNeely. Just because, you know,
join the list, right? Wouldn't he join the multi-winner list or whatever this season?
No, RSM Classic, last one of last year. But
that's right.
He told me one time he plays his best golf along the water because he uses the water as a level to read greens. Yeah, that was my reaction too.
So wait, I don't even get it. So wait, what does that mean?
The water's flat in the background, so he can like use it against the green to see which way. I know. I mean, I believe it. This guy's like the top 3 putter in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Stanford,
PhD,
probably.
Smart guy, successful, does well, uses the water.
Yeah.
Before we go, we talked about this in break. I was going to ask you this question. A friend of mine texted me this during the show. What's the most annoying purchase a golfer has to make? What's something that's so annoying that you have to buy? You don't want to spend the money, but you have to do it.
I think I'm gonna say golf balls first, because that's like almost it's like almost disheartening. You're like, God damn it, I just lost all 12 of these golf balls.
Mandatory purchase. You got to have a golf ball to play golf. Like that's like the only thing you truly have to have.
I really just lost $60 in 4 rounds somehow. Yeah. I think a sleeper though would be rain gear. If you don't have rain gear,
call.
Yeah. Just because like it's pretty pricey. I feel like not a lot of people know which is great. 0 restriction, McDonald 20 at checkout. And so there's a bunch of unknown with rain gear, and it's something unlike a golf ball. You're like, I'm going to use this once or twice. And so that's my number 2.
I would like to know how many people have done the Scotland, Bandon, Ireland trip, spent the $800, whatever a full rain gear kit cost, right? Unless you use Patrick's 20% deal off at 0 restriction. But I mean, it's expensive. Like good rain gear is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And never used it one time. And they get back home. It's got to be a high percentage, right?
Yeah. I will say we did a trip to Kiowa a few years back. And my buddy, who like does not play golf at all, but he loves buying the gear. He's one of those guys. He was like, man, I really need some like rain shoes right now. Like these aren't going to work. He had like tennis shoes pretty much.
Rain shoes. Okay.
Or what water resistant, water sealed or whatever. And he bought these FootJoys that were the level below water resistant. It's do you know what? God, the word is escaping
water
me
repellent,
right now.
water allergic.
Yes, water repellent. He's like, same thing, I bet. Second hole, he's like, that mother effer in the pro shop. My shoes are soaked right now. I just paid $125 for these. So water repellent shoes also on
Don't
the
do
list.
That. You know that brings up a point that you go to golf tournaments, people love to make fun of like fans that are really into it. Mm-hmm. And when you see the people, I remember when I used to see people in the golf shoes and you'd kind of roll your eyes at them. You'd be like, bro, you don't need to wear golf shoes to a golf tournament. But if it's wet at all, it's a great wear because then your feet don't get, if you wear tennis shoes and it's rainy or dewy or whatever, your feet are going to get wet. I would say golf balls are annoying to buy, especially when you get to the golf course and realize you don't have enough because they're like double the price in the pro shop. And I'd say the range finder's high on the list just because it's so expensive. They're so expensive and you lose yours, you buy another one it does the same job. It's like buying tires,
Yeah.
It's expensive and it just fills like the void, if you will.
Yeah. I haven't bought a rangefinder, I guess. And
Do you have a discount code for one or no?
I surprisingly don't for some reason.
Okay.
Clearly we need some people watching the show to get us one. I guess I have like a busted rangefinder though. Like it's on the horizon, that purchase for me. I know. And I'm just
Hey
putting it off.
Josh, can you get us a rangefinder company to sponsor the show? That'd be great. And we'll talk about it for 30 minutes a show if you want. Patrick
Easily.
he'll literally do the show looking through the eyeglass. He said
I've actually started to not use my rangefinder. I feel like, because I don't know how far I hit my clubs at all, Shane, which is one of the issues I'm struggling with right now.
That's good.
I don't know how far they go or what
This is
direction.
going to get us the sponsorship, Patrick.
With well, it could help my game potentially.
Okay.
And so I was like, why do I even need yardages then? So I feel like I'm Francis Ouimet out there playing golf right now with the way I'm playing. No technology at all. I'm curving shots like 30 yards long of the green, but like, man, I feel like I'm playing golf again.
Yeah, well, when you start to comp yourself to Francis Ouimet, that means the show is over. Everybody, appreciate you guys watching along and following us each and every week. We'll be back next week. Big show next week, obviously, as we prep for the final men's major of the year. Excited for this week. Excited to wake up early and watch a little bit of golf. This is like prime early sports summer. Wimbledon on the morning, Scottish Open on in the morning. Roll right into Open Championship week, and we'll be back next week. Hope everybody has a good week and watches a little bit of golf, and we'll see you guys as we prep for Portrush.